The appeal of the boundless freedom of open world experiences is never going to wane to a point where they're not among the most popular games in the medium, and sure enough, there's no shortage of plenty more upcoming ones in the pipeline either. Here we're going to highlight a few such open world games scheduled to release in 2025 or beyond that we can't wait to get our hands on. Grand Theft Auto 6. It makes sense to start off with the obvious choice here. The big daddy of open world games is returning this year, or so Rockstar says at least, with the long-awaited Grand Theft Auto 6. Arriving more than a decade after its predecessor's release, the epic crime saga will take players back to the sunny coastal streets of Vice City, touting a level of immersion and detail that only Rockstar can manage. Whether GTA 6 will actually launch this fall as intended remains to be seen. It's hard to think of Rockstar games that haven't been delayed at least once. But either way, this is the big one that open world fans will be keeping their eye on. Assassin's Creed Shadows. When you think open world games of 2025, you can't help but think Assassin's Creed, which is returning soon with Assassin's Creed Shadows. How effective the developer's decision to delay the game and ensure that it releases in the best possible condition will turn out to be is the big question on everyone's mind right now, but conceptually, with its dual protagonist approach, promise of renewed emphasis on stealth and parkour, and a setting that we've been waiting for the series to visit for as long as anyone can remember, and Shadows has all the right elements in place to wow one and all, color us cautiously optimistic. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Many a sequel takes the bigger and better approach, but not every one of them can do it satisfactorily. Based on everything that we've seen of it so far, it seems like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 will pass that test with flying colors. Building on its predecessor's rough yet solid foundations, it's promising yet another epic medieval open world adventure, with the highest emphasis placed on authenticity, immersion, and realism. Combining unique eccentricities with a complex web of RPG systems and a focus on choice-driven storytelling, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is looking like an enticing prospect. The Elder Scrolls 6. The Elder Scrolls 6's announcement is now as old as Skyrim was when The Elder Scrolls 6 was first announced, but by all accounts, the wait for the long-awaited fantasy RPG is going to stretch on longer still. Having entered full production only in late 2023 after the launch of Starfield, it's still a handful of years away from release, and we still know next to nothing about it other than the fact that it exists, or more accurately, that it will exist at some point. But it's Elder Scrolls, so yes, we're excited as heck to get our hands on it, even if only conceptual excitement is here and isn't going to turn into anything more for some time to come. The Witcher 4. CD Projekt Red officially announced The Witcher 4 in December, with a lengthy cinematic trailer had confirmed Ciri as the series' new main protagonist. And though the developer has made it clear that the action RPG is still years away from release, it has instantly shot up to many most anticipated lists. The Witcher 3 is one of the greatest games ever made, and though Cyberpunk 2077 had a rough launch, to put it mildly I might add, it has, over time, grown into a legitimately excellent game in its own right, especially with Phantom Liberty taken into account. If CD Projekt Red can learn from its mistakes and avoid another disastrous launch, The Witcher 4 may very well be yet another landmark release for the studio. Fable. It's been years since Playground Games' Fable reboot was officially announced, but finally this is going to be the year that it finally releases, barring a delay that is, of course. Of course, we've yet to see actual gameplay, even if we have now seen some in-game and engine footage at least, but our hope is that it won't be too long before that changes. Playground has delivered a string of masterful open-world racing games over the years, and if the studio can successfully translate its skills to the RPG genre, genre fans and fans of Fable will be in for an absolute treat. Pokemon Legends ZA. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to call Pokemon Legends Arceus not only arguably the best Pokemon game in years, but one of the best games in the series' history, period. Naturally, excitement surrounding its direct follow-up is high, even if we know little about Pokemon Legends ZA so far, besides the fact that it will take players to the Kalos region. We're obviously hoping for a much more technically stable and polished product this time around, especially if the game launches for the inevitable Switch 2, but it's building off of stellar gameplay foundations as it is, so our excitement levels are pretty high. Death Stranding 2 on the beach. A new game developed by Hideo Kojima and team is always going to attract a ton of attention. Death Stranding is one of the most unusual open world games ever made, and Death Stranding 2 on the beach is looking set to scale similar heights. Kojima Productions has kept a tight lid on details related to its gameplay side of things, but even the little that we do know points to intriguing improvements, including real-time terrain changes, having to deal with natural disasters, and a new setting outside of North America, and so much more.
His knowledge and experience will probably come in handy down the road.
Yes. Really, Sam? Your buttocks?
Ark II. The Vin Diesel starring Ark II has taken much longer to release than many would have expected, and after numerous delays, the skepticism surrounding it has continued to grow, understandably enough, of course. Even the optimists, however, were hoping that the game is able to pull through and deliver on its lofty promise, that of a sweeping open-world survival experience that throws players into a fascinating setting, fraught with peril and dinosaurs, of course. Whether it can actually do that is anyone's best guess, but it never hurts to have hope. Atomfall. Sniper Elite and Zombie Army developer Rebellion is turning up something new. Part Fallout, part Stalker, the open-world survival title will take players to a quarantine zone in alternate history 1960s northern England, where you'll have to deal with all manner of dangers, from radioactive fallout and having to hunt for resources to hostiles coming in all shapes and sizes. Due out in March, we won't be waiting too long for this one. Ghost of Yotei. 2020's Ghost of Tsushima was a high point for Sucker Punch, and without a doubt one of PlayStation's best first-party releases in recent years. Whether the studio will be able to recapture lightning in a bottle with Ghost of Yotei is obviously the big question, but there's every reason to be excited. With a new setting and a new protagonist, Ghost of Yotei is giving itself plenty of creative freedom, in spite of the fact that it is, of course, a sequel building on established foundations. Can it successfully have its cake and eat it too? Well, we sure hope it does, and up to this point our hopes are high that it will. Crimson Desert. Originally spinning off from Pearl Abyss's MMORPG Black Desert, single-player action-adventure title Crimson Desert has been making waves with its pre-launch shows for some time now, and it continues to look increasingly promising as we see more of it. Whether it can make good on its many lofty promises does remain to be seen, but from its aggressive combat and varied traversal mechanics to its gigantic open world and the vast range of activities that it seemingly houses, the game seems to be checking a lot of the right boxes. Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. The Like a Dragon franchise has maintained an admirably consistent level of quality for several years running, despite the high rate at which it puts out new installments, and by the looks of it, Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii is going to be another notch on the belt for RGG Studios' beloved series. We're going back to sunny Hawaii, and this time we'll be playing as the fan favorite Goro Majima. Interestingly enough, having lost his memory, the Mad Dog of Shimono is leading a pirate crew this time, which means players can expect plenty of naval gameplay. You can't help but love how experimental Yakuza is, and this is looking like yet another exciting experiment. Dying Light: The Beast. What started out as another expansion for Dying Light 2 has by now turned into a fully standalone entry in Techland's zombie-slaying series with Dying Light: The Beast, and we can't wait to dive into its post-apocalyptic offerings. Not only is it promising a tighter and more compact experience, it will also turn the spotlight once again on Kyle Crane, the protagonist of the original Dying Light, whose story series fans have been hoping to see continue for some time now. With a new setting and continued focus on horror on top of that, The Beast is looking like quite the alluring prospect. Monster Hunter Wilds. Inarguably one of 2025's biggest releases, Monster Hunter Wilds is looking to take the stellar framework of Monster Hunter World and blow it further still into an even bigger and better experience. Design-wise, the game is promising even larger and more varied open-world maps that players will now be able to travel between seamlessly. The combat mechanics and loot have obviously always been central in Monster Hunter, but as the series' level design sensibilities have continuously improved, so too has the overall experience on offer. So hopes are high that our trajectory will continue with Monster Hunter Wilds. And with that, we reach the end of this video. Have anything to say? Let us know in the comments below. Also, we upload new videos every single day on GamingBolt, so please consider subscribing as it really helps us out. Thanks for watching.